going on, Nick Nation? It is me, the Don of the Watch Along BS Sports Jedi Kev here on the Sports Jedi Network. Return of the Knicks podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. Man, we have not talked Knicks in quite some time. I missed every one of you folks that are in the Return of the Knicks podcast for all the watch alongs. Man, we miss you guys. Mr. Darnell Davis, Mr. Vernon, Maria, Cynical. We talking about big task at hand. You know, the many of you folks that are joining us, man. Missed you guys, seeing you. You guys are family, you know, watching along with the Knicks. And now let's talk about the Knicks off season. I have a guest, Darnell. Mr. Darnell Davis is in the green room there. He will join us in a bit once he gets his computer and all that situation going. I have a panelist, invited a few other folks to come on. Let's see if they show up. It's hard to get people to come on and be panelists with me there. But let's talk about the offseason, man. There's a lot of rumors, as you see there. Rumors has it, in the words of Adele. And right before the trading deadline for the NBA free agency, there's going to be a lot of trades. We saw the draft there. But first and foremost, let's congratulate the world champions for winning their first ever NBA title for the Denver Nuggets, as we're going to bring in Mr. Darnell Davis, who's going to join me. And I'm going to say good evening, Mr. Darnell Davis. How are you, pal?
How you doing there? How's everything, Jedi?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing great. Great to have you joining me this evening here. We're going to talk some Knicks basketball all season with NBA basketball, anything that has to do with that beautiful orange basketball. Let's go. Let's talk right into it, man. I know if you're doing well. I was talking before I opened the show how I miss all you guys, everyone from the watch along. I miss seeing you guys. I know the Knicks season is over. Summertime is here. You guys going to enjoy your summer. I know a long winter punishes with being indoors, but I do miss seeing you guys in the chat, the camaraderie, the laughing, and all that good stuff, man. So I want to say thank you for joining me, Darnell Davis, on the chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, let's go right into it. Off season, trading, again, we congratulate the Denver Nuggets for winning their World Championship. And boy, did it start off with Bradley Beal going to Phoenix. I was surprised on that one. I know Miami was in the conversation. We were a part of the conversation for Mr. Bradley Beal. All in all, the Wizards scooped in, made that move, and then they forward Chris Paul now to the Golden State Warriors. Now that has a lot of implication on us, the Knicks. And how is that? Because Donte DiVincenzo declined his option, and now he's a restricted free agent, be able to sign with the Knicks. My first question on one of the rumors there, Donte DiVincenzo, do you think he's a fit for the New York Knicks? I know he's teammates with Josh Hart and our captain, you could say a quote-unquote captain, Brunson. What's your thoughts there?
Well, I like him. He's a teammate with them. He shoot 40% from the three, so we need a person to shoot the three. So I'm glad we picked him up. He's a good defensive player. He's stretched. He moves around a lot. He do the same thing Josh do, and he get rebounds. So I like him. He's a good guy we picked up.
You know what I like about Donte DiVincenzo? I know the height is an issue, but you mentioned the 40% from three-point shooting, but they all play high-winning basketball. What Jay Wright in Villanova inserted and taught these guys how to win the teammate and the fundamentals basketball 101. And I love the fact that he taught them that, and that's something that it helps out our young guys. Remember, not only Donte, and this is a team that's young nucleus. They're young. They're all the nucleus. The gel of this team is all young. A lot of folks would like some changes. Sometimes you got to let these guys gel. And I say, there's on that table of running it back. It wouldn't hurt. It would adding a Donte DiVincenzo and maybe tweaking. You don't have to make the big move to accept the apple cart. Although there's a lot, with the new CBA coming in, there's a chance now that you could able to grab that.
Yeah.
And speaking of all that different moves, before we get the names that are out there, the Knicks got to talk about working about internally. When I mean internally, we haven't named a general manager yet for the franchise, which is, Leon Rose is running the ship there, but you always want to have that figurehead as a general manager. Maybe Rosas that came over from the Timberwolves could be that general manager role, or they make it official. And one thing I dislike about the Knicks, I love the team, but I dislike that Leon Rose doesn't speak as a team president. You know, he doesn't have to give us every detail of everything, and and you have to wait for a minute for him to find out what direction the Knicks are going.
It takes a long time, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'll send that to you in a second, Gideon. But right now, give me 10 minutes here, one-on-one with Mr. Darnell Davis as the guest starts coming in, and we'll bring it because I don't want to just empty out our chamber all in 10 minutes of the show. So we'll bring you in eventually. We'll bring you in there so we don't go over in circles with the take. You got it, Gideon. Mr. Darnell, I wanted to talk about the front office. What I mean internally, that's the general manager. Secondly, extending. Do you think it's necessary to extend Emmanuel quickly, Obi Toppin, or there's nothing wrong on waiting one more year? I understand the new CBA, you want to do this and that with your cap. All the cap nerds, they get their juices tantalized with all the extensions and caps. I'm thinking there's nothing wrong with that because you want one thing. I always said it, and you know that I always told you that one thing that motivates a basketball player is being motivated to try to get that bag, especially in the NBA. Overnight, you could become a millionaire immediately. I would like to see Obi Toppin. You know, we saw some frustration. We'll talk about Obi Toppin as well. Play for that contract, that hunger of winning that bag, as well as Emmanuel Quickly. You don't think Quickly's wants to get salivating to get the season started for that playoff performance, healthy or not healthy? What's your thoughts on extending, not extending, and then we'll get into Toppin.
Well, with the general manager, I think we really need a general manager soon to help us out, the ideas, and so we can see what's going on with the system. So Quickly, if he didn't get hurt, I think Quickly would have helped us out in the playoffs. He's a good player. He helped us out with a lot. He played the point guard a lot. So playing him most in that playoff game would have helped us out a lot. So if he didn't get hurt, I think we'd have been all right. With Toppin, he don't get it. The spot he's supposed to get, he's supposed to get more playing time soon. Even when Julius Randolph is out, he gets 15 minutes, 20 minutes. He should get more time. I don't know what the problem with him and the coach is not. They're not clicking together. I believe Toppin, if he was in the game a lot, I believe he would be scoring the way he do. I mean, he gets 15, 20 minutes. He just stay in the corner to shoot the three. He got better offense in the game with if he get more playing time, I think. And he's a real good player. I seen him in college. He played every position in college, and no reason why he used to be sitting on the bench. He's a real good player.
I'm glad you mentioned about Toppin with that. Here's the one thing I'm noticing that we and I was really scrutinizing and listening and observing and listening, and of course listening to other different folks bring their opinions about this. Is what makes a great recipe of listening to the other different folks, their takes on different players. Yes. Toppin, what was brought to my light, Toppin hasn't showed that strength to guard a 5 in the NBA, and I think that's what hurts the Knicks, having him on the floor. If he were to have that core strength, the upper body strength to go up against some of the 5s, maybe he'll get some more playing time where Tom Thibodeau will try to entrust him to play and make him a stretch 5 at times. Not for the whole game, not for that's his whole change of a position, for an increment of stealing an extra 10 minutes or 5 minutes from one of your two when the centers is foul trouble and you want to give a blow to another to your backup center, you could probably play that stretch 5, but Toppin hasn't shown the ability to stay strong on that, and then you can't put Julius at the 5 because you're asking a lot for Julius. Julius, he's scoring. Sometimes he's ball handling, and I think that's what hurts of the dynamic with playing them all together on the floor, Julius and Toppin. Now we saw the outburst there where Toppin, supposedly the audio came out. Toppin outburst upset at Tom Thibodeau about not getting some playing time in Game 4, the back and forth being restrained, all that negative black eye that came out now. All of a sudden, I don't know if it's to diminish Toppin's trade value or asking price, whatever it is, whatever the narrative behind it, it wasn't kind of kosher. But then we see that the Knicks, they signed Jacob Toppin into a two-way contract, the younger brother of Obi, and it makes you think that Leon Rose is sending a message: we're family. I'm gonna take care of my family. Which, you know, and I don't know if you know, Toppin is the godson of Leon Rose. So they're in that's a close knit family there. It makes it interesting. It makes it interesting. Why, if Toppin and the coach are at odds, you bring in his brother, and I don't know what right now. For the first time, I'm clueless of what the Knicks are gonna do next.
Well, I believe they probably keep him if they're gonna bring his brother in. I guess they're gonna keep him, put him in the G League, and work him out. Find out what they're gonna do. You know, I believe he's gonna be on the team. I know that. Definitely gonna be on the team.
He'll be on a two-way contract. We'll be in Westchester Knicks to see what he's got. He was shooting really good from three-point land. He has good numbers from Kentucky. He has some really good numbers, and he's coming from a good pedigree of good college. I'm not saying that he's going to be an NBA All-Star. I'm not saying he might not even be an NBA starter, but could it be a really solidified bench piece that would marinate in another year or two? Yes, going along with the youth. Remember, NBA now, the new NBA kind of is you got some players, and that's why I want to get to this next point. You can't have too many draft picks. Sooner or later, you have to pay everybody, and the way the CBA is constructed, it's going to be difficult to pay everybody to keep them under. Oklahoma City Thunder is going to have an issue. They're hoarding a lot of draft picks. They're hoarding a lot of players. They're all going to get Josh Giddey, just Alexander. They got a lot of good young nucleus. Eventually, when those contracts need to extend, they got to find out who they're going to move to and move away from. So that's why it's good to have depth, build a G League system where you could pluck guys that are a little raw and get you your Mitchell Robinsons, diamonds in the roughs. So I kind of trust Brock Aller, Leon Rose in that sense for developing those kids and putting them in Westchester so we can have a plethora of young Teron Keels. They're saying a lot of good things about him. They're feeling high on Teron Keels coming into the season. I can't wait to see that, Darnell.
Yeah, me too. They say he's a good player, though. I would like to see that myself.
And as we speak about that Westchester Knicks Summer League roster came out, now, but right now, dude, let me ask you the question. Does Josh Hart opt in for $12 million, or does he look for a new contract that he can make more money, close to 18 and 19, the rumors, $18 million 4-year deal? What's your thoughts on, I know some of the Knicks, and I hate to say it, some of the Knicks faithful kind of would like to see Josh Hart move away. I personally like him, but I understand that what have you done for me lately? Your last remembrance of Hart not hitting offensively in the postseason, but man, he gives you all those intangibles that you can't really measure. Do you want him opt in, or would you like him to get a contract extension? I'm torn about this, to be honest with you.
But I want him in. I think Josh Hart. I think he even take a pay cut. I like Josh Hart. I want him in. I think he even take a pay cut. He likes playing with the Knicks. He got his family there. You know, he got people that's coming that he like, and he's a good chemistry for the Knicks, and he played good defense. So I believe he'll stay with the Knicks. He have no problem with the Knicks.
All right, so he opts in for that 1 year. Next year he'll become a free agent. He'll opt in for $12 million. It gives the Knicks more flexible room in the cap. We saw. Thank you, Derrick Rose. We really appreciate if you don't return on a cheaper deal or veterans rental. They did not pick up the $15 million for Derrick Rose. He might not return at the Knicks. Hey, Derrick, you know what? I've got great memories of him with the Knicks coming in that We're Here season, playing his ass off. And I hate to curse, but I'm going to say it. He did. He played his ass off for the Knicks. He gave it all. He emptied the tank for us, for that orange and blue. And I would always be appreciative of Derrick Rose emptying the tank. I love the way he played. He could have easily quit with those 2 knee injuries. He persevered. He overcame. He wasn't the all-star level, but he was popular, and he gave it all on the court. I got to salute a man with that kind of heart, man. I can't say anything negative about Derrick Rose.
Yeah, Derrick Rose is a good player. I love to see him playing. Spent Chicago days, and he came back to New York. I mean, he was the only good point guard we had since Stephon Marbury and the rest of them, but Derrick Rose, he's a good guy to have on the team, and he helped the young guys out. So that was good. I mean, that's why they kept him there for for many years. Just to help the young guys out, but to let them go like that, throw a party for them or something,
And you could arguably a player Rose is endeared with both Chicago and New York. That's hard to be loved by two fan bases that are rivals. Think about that, right? That's a really good one there for that one, for being endeared and loved by two fan bases that are rivals. We can't stand the Bulls. We know that. If you're a Knicks fan from the '90s, you cannot stand the Bulls. And to love Derrick Rose, their native son, like our own, says a lot. And what he's done for Emmanuel quickly, and Obi Toppin too, helping him with his confidence. That was a good pickup there, bringing that veteran in here on Derrick Rose. He will know. Maybe he'll come back on a veteran's rental. Who knows? If not, again, we want to thank him for at least us, myself. A big part of the Knicks fans. What he bought actually was good. I know the first time around with Porzingis, that was a whole other issue, but he redeemed himself well in New York. So now we got that cap space money that we're not going to commit to and bring back there. That's why I think that DiVincenzo opens up. I believe, I'm not a capologist, so I'm not going to pretend I know the cap ins and outs and give you the nerdy numbers. I wish I could. Don't have the time. I have so many programs that I can't sit there. I would love to, but I don't have the time. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Darnell Davis. Evan Fournier, we have to move from him, but you just can't give him away. That's a inspiring contract that you could really get something for an Evan Fournier. There's rumor has it that McDermott with the Spurs, where you could bring a Derek McDermott who's a defensive pain in the neck who could shoot and maybe fits a little more Tom Thibodeau system. Personally, I think McDermott was here, been there, done that. I don't think it's going to work a second time around in New York, and that's just my opinion.
Well, I think we'll get him. I think we should get him for some cash, or probably get a 4 for him. Probably get a 4 wingman for him, and some cash. But he's going to get traded. He's not going to be there this year. So and that's holding on to him.
Now, one of those big proposals that we've seen. It's all rumors. Again, the title of the show, major rumors. ... is all rumors. It's all hearsay. This is the opportunity for us to play NBA 2K here on YouTube. Put on a general manager's hat. We'll talk a little bit about the Knicks right now. We'll make some a little bit of predictions or pretend predictions. Of course, this is not cap related, so do not burn us or roast us because we don't have the cap numbers in front of us to say it'll fit on the cap, and when we're just have it. Rumor has it. So again, I wanted to be specified before the quote unquote scientists of the NBA caps attack us. Just wanted to bring that there. I'm just as lost with the front office right now. I am, Keith, because right now you see Leon Rose is telling us, backing up the Toppin family. It seems like, and this is a big popular, I do a lot of wrestling. It seems like there's a big civil war, a minor civil war within front office and the direction with the coaches and XYZ, because now we're seeing, the argument. Then we're seeing the backing of the Toppin family. Is Julius coming? Is Julius going? Or, what are their thoughts of Julius? They're going to build around Julius Randle. We saw Paul George is now getting involved because Julius went on a podcast and everything went chimmy. And then all of a sudden the rumors came out that George might be coming to the Knicks. You also have Robert Randolph wants to be an NBA reporter. Hey, Robert, stick to singing Friday Night Knicks. We love it. We love your music. Stick to it. You're not an NBA reporter because everything you put out there completely wrong. Saying Obi Toppin is out the door. He has rumors. He has the title to put his rumors out there like we do. But man, I don't know if you want to trade an RJ Barrett for a Paul George at this junction of their careers.
No, I don't. He's 30-something years, 36 years old. I don't think so.
That's a tough one. If it was 4 years ago, 3 years, maybe 3 years ago, where they're at in their careers, yeah, because Paul George is the hell of a defender who could shoot, who's the wing. But he's, like you said, it's enough of chasing the over 32-year-old has-beens. Again, this team is a young nucleus. I understand you might need some veterans to lead the way, but not at those parts where you have an ascending 22-year-old third-round pick in your team ascending, where George is declining. Doesn't make sense there to make that move. I know you got to give something to get something. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys, the Knicks fans, you want everybody, but you don't want to give anyone up. Yes and no. You got to have the right. You got to give something to get something. And that's what kind of frustrates me because every time I hear a name, I'm like, oh, I would like that, but when you start hearing the players that they want to take or poach from us that we have to give up, we're like, damn, do we overvaluate our talent?
I hear you.
Do you think as Knicks fans, do we overvaluate our own talent on the roster?
Yes, we do. We give up too many people for one player. It's like we give up 3-4 people that we really need on the team, and it's like it's too much, you know. For Carmelo, we gave up like almost 7-8 people for Carmelo. It's like, and you got to keep changing your team up, so we never get to play with each other. We never get to challenge the chemistry that the coach got. So every year it's just changed up. So that's why it's hard for the team to really gather together like that. So I believe, you know, a good chemistry, a good coach. I like the coach, but I think he got to change his ways some way because the chemistry. Some players look, they don't want to run the way they want to go to that system. They don't want to do that. They're coming all sluggish, and it seems like it take a long time for the game to get good. So yeah, I think we need more chemistry in the coaches and the players. We need to change up.
All right, so where I want to get to with that, and again, I'm past frustrated with the team right now. I get you, Keith. I am a little bit. This is one thing that it's a heckle and jive love-hate relationship when it comes to the Knicks, Keith. We need, when we have money into cap space and a lot of money, the top-notch all-star or NBA player is not really available. It's never the season when we have the right money.
Never.
Or the right NBA player doesn't become available, or now that we have a bunch of assets and ready to go, no one wants to, and that player doesn't want to choose or pick or say they have a love affair of coming to New York. So it's like a pickle or conundrum, like you know, and if the player is available, he's over 32 years old, and we're like, damn, we're in his history to go get a Marbury or Stevie Francis, those type of moves, how it really burned our organization, getting an older player in here, chasing McGrady. You're like, so there's a lot of PTSD when it comes to us as Knicks fans on the past, but this is a whole different front office. One thing I got to give Leon Rose, he doesn't speak just to us or gives us a direction or tip his hand, but he hasn't done any foolish or dumb or overreaching move. He didn't give in to that dictator Danny Ainge with Utah last season, and he's not going to be pushed over, even though, the reputation, he's an agent, but he doesn't, because he was an agent, he's not a dummy. So I think I kind of am a little bit okay with Leon Rose in that sense. There's pros and cons in Leon Rose as a general manager, in my personal opinion. Now, speaking about the Danny Ainge and being fleeced, as rumors has it that the Cavaliers might try to move Donovan Mitchell again, because Donovan Mitchell, I think when he changes in the Cleveland Cavaliers locker room, he wears orange and blue underwears, because my God, this guy wants to be in New York in any way possible. Wow. Would you be shocked that he ends up getting traded to New York this summer?
Well, I believe he still say he want to become a New York. He have it in his blood, and he said he's coming in. He said he's going to come. This next team, he's coming to New York. So I believe he's going to come here. He's just waiting for the right moment, and the Knicks going to pick him up. He's going to be a guaranteed player we really need in the future. It's going to be quicker than we think, though, I believe, because just like you say, he's wearing the drawers, socks, the hat. He go to the Met games. He do everything in New York. His family live there. His father live there. He want to be a New Yorker. So I can say.
I heard he got cut the other day, and he had an orange and blue Band-Aid on. I'm like, my goodness, this guy really loves this guy. Hey, I don't know what it will take here because here's a plethora of options. I mean, you got picks for Donovan Mitchell. You could move Anobi Toppin. I don't know if Toppin will fit in the Cavaliers because they got that front court. They're more looking for maybe a quickly might get you there, or you know, man, Grimes would be a tough one to get rid of. But if you're bringing DiVincenzo in here along with Hart and Donovan Mitchell, a little bit too. That's deep team. You might have to give up a quickly. Even a Grimes might be able to get that going with some other picks and some other cap money situation there, 3-team, whatever the case may be. It'd be interesting to see that if they bring in a Donovan Mitchell this summer, because the Knicks could just wait the game and wait for that cap money, and when he free agency could bring him right in, or 1 year left an expiring deal, make the move. And that's why I don't think Brown isn't leaving the Boston Celtics. I think Brown might get moved here with a guy that you endear to your heart and my heart for Zion Williamson. I could see a Zion Williamson move to Boston, where we want him for New York. I don't know if it's going to work. They was talking about, but you could try to move that around. It's a tough one. A lot of moving parts when it comes to that. Zion in Boston, I would hate to see that personally.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I mean, Porzingis, Zion Williamson with Tatum. I mean, I don't know if it'll fit. I don't know if it fits under the cap if they were to move. My thought, my whole thought that I thought Zion was going to be moved to the Atlanta Hawks for Collins, and we saw Collins go to Utah now. So that's a good fit for Utah. Marketing Collins, they got a nice front court there for Utah being built. John Collins unhappy in Utah. I mean in the Atlanta Hawks. They wanted to move that contract. I don't know Clint Snyder. It doesn't fit his bill with Trae Young, whatever the case is. But they lost some size. Atlanta lost some size there, moving Collins. I'm surprised. Size is hard to come by. And they moved Collins. It weakens a rival in the Hawks. Good for them. But I thought Zion would have been a nice pick for New Orleans. You could bring Collins in who could play the 4 or the 5. And they get Zion who goes back home to the South, the southeastern part of the country. I thought that was going to be a move there that was going to be something that was going to be getting traction, but obviously it didn't. Do you think Zion gets moved? Do you think Zion gets moved here, or you think he goes or he stays in New Orleans?
I believe he's trying to get to New York. I believe if he gets to Boston, he's gonna try. I believe they'll make a trade to get him over to New York. Definitely, but I don't think he want to play in Boston either. He's just trying to get close as he can to get to New York. So he'll do anything to get to New York. So whatever possible is out there, they can get closer, or 3-way trade or whatever. Any way they can get to get him over to New York, I believe they're going to do it.
Keith Turner says we have a fleet of guards who would like to get some wins.
Well, they'll get rid of 2 or 3 people if they have to. I didn't hear you.
No, I was answering the question here from Mr. Keith Turner. He says New York has a fleet of we have a fleet of guards. We need wings. That's a tough one though, because you consider. I guess a 3-and-D wing will be Barrett, but Barrett doesn't shoot well to really give you that wing. And if they're gonna go get because here's the thing, they just picked up the $1.8 million on Miles McBride. So McBride is on this team, so he's staying on this team here. And I didn't even think about that. If McBride stays here, he could be a filler for a move, with the 1.8 signed guaranteed with contract filler. If you're bringing DiVincenzo, it's like, again, we're frustrated because we don't know what direction this team wants to go. What they don't give us a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a direction of where they want to go as do they want to be a stretch 5 type of team? We know what Tom Thibodeau is. read and react offense. He wants offensive rebounds. He wants everybody to rotate, play defensively, and a little bit ISO heavy. That's the Knicks in a nutshell there. But they need, in order to go ISO heavy, you need some guys who can stretch the floor, who could just knock down shots when the ISO commands the double team. And that's why I think they really need some 3-point shooting there, Donnell. And one thing that frustrates me, we talk about Obi Toppin. I wish they would utilize Obi Toppin better, cutting a lot of backdoor cuts, because one thing they're not utilizing correctly is Isaiah Hartenstein. If you look at Isaiah Hartenstein's numbers or his film on him when he was with the Clippers, where Trey Mann used to cut and there was a lot of motion, Isaiah Hartenstein is a hell of a passer who could get the man in the back cut. I would have loved to see him and Obi and be a little more dynamic there when Obi's on the floor with the backdoor cuts, motion basketball. Similar, not like the Golden State Warriors, but you see the Golden State Warriors are constantly moving. And I would have loved to see that style of basketball, at least with the second unit with the running and gunning, in my opinion. Now, my question to you was that we've seen Hartenstein and we've seen the rumors Kuminga for Toppin. I didn't like that one.
I hear you.
Kuminga was rumored from Golden State for Obi Toppin. I did not like that rumor, although because you're going to be in the same boat. Kuminga's going to get frustrated on not getting playing time. One, then you got to extend them anyway, like Toppin. Only difference is you're buying one more year before he's eligible for an extension. Then you go to State, you're going to have to be in the same predicament, but a little bit earlier with Toppin. They don't know what they're getting, although Toppin will fit nicely in Golden State with the free-flowing offense that runs, backdoor cutting. He could shoot the threes when they need him to shoot the three, and he could play that role. But I don't think especially if they're rumored to lose Draymond Green, I'm not saying Toppin is going to play the Draymond Green role, but he's a younger player that will help. And I don't know if Toppin is that dog to go get that defense. Like again, we were talking about Toppin not being strong enough up into guard fives like Draymond Green, but I wonder what they're thinking about. They have to check cap money and all that stuff. So Kuminga for Toppin, no.
I don't think I like that, because I like Toppins. He's a forward. Like I said, the position they got him playing, he's a forward that swings out. He like to be on the run. He like to be out dunking. He like to be on the wing. He don't like to be standing in the three waiting to shoot the ball. He's more of a finesse guy, shooting, coming out, alley oops and going to the basket. So if he played with Harsh like that, I'm sure in practice they see it. I just think I don't know what the problem with the coach and Obi. I don't know why he's not playing him, because we never play 3 or 4 big guys on the court at one time anyway, and that's another reason why we be losing a lot of games, because they play 2 big men, they play a forward, a power forward. We never have our 3 power forwards or 2 centers out there to stop what they're doing out there. So it's hard. And Obi, he don't know where to play. He's not a really guy to sit in the corner and wait for a 3. You want to be out there running, swinging, doing what you got to do. So the position he's playing is real hard for him to play like that. That's why I think he don't want to play in the game no more. He feel like he get traded, and he's going to be awesome. He's a good guy, I'll tell you right now. I like him. I wish he could stay, and that's why I think they got his brother.
So you think he's getting traded? So you're right now on a couple of days before the NBA free agency kicks in. What's your percentage of Toppin being on this team next season, starting training camp?
Obi?
Yes.
I believe he'd be on the team.
So what? 70%, 80%? You're confident that you'll see him in training camp this summer, this October?
85%. I see him there.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on the 85, 90%. I think he comes back. I think there's still a 10%. Never say never percentage there. Especially, maybe they're sending a message to Tom Thibodeau. You know what? We need some improvement, or we're not going to pick up your extension. That's why we bought Toppin. We know that's out there. That's why we signed his brother. We're kind of backing in the play. We're backing up the player here rather than the head coach. It's kind of weird situation there with that. So yeah, I agree with that. We saw now that there's a rumor with the Rich Paul with Clutch Sport not advising their players to play for the Knicks or not wanting, and AKA case in point is Zach LaVine. His team, his representatives are saying no to play for the New York Knicks. There's either a collusion there. I'm thinking there's a collusion. It smells like collusion when an agent tells them not to play for an agent. The rumors when the agents don't like each other in their camp and all that stuff there. Zach LaVine never himself said he didn't want to play for New York. We all know the history with Thibodeau and LaVine in Minnesota. Maybe that's what the coach is worried about. Maybe there was so much back and forth behind the scenes minutia that ended up getting LaVine out of Minnesota into Chicago. Whatever happened there, at the end of the day, LaVine, his people was not saying no to come to New York. I'm like, they kind of we're dodging a bullet, to be honest with you.
He said he didn't want to come. I don't know why he didn't want to come to New York, though, but
his representative, he never said it. He never verbally said, I don't like New York. I don't want to be New York. His representatives, his representatives, said no to New York there. Now, I don't know if it's for them. I don't know for we know why the collusion part there. Well, they're not liking the general manager, former CAA connection there. It's okay there, but now the reason why I bought the CAA stuff, the rumor is that now OG Anunoby got rid of that former management, and now he's with a CAA, and we know that OG Anunoby was mentioned so highly in the trading deadline with the Raptors, with the Knicks. That name has come up a lot. That will fit the stretch, will be that 3-and-D who could score, that wing player, that also is the hell of defensive player, will fit the model of what Tom Thibodeau wants. Now, with the new, I don't know where in the world, unless it's a signing trade, I don't know how they could fit him with no money really under the cap. A Fournier might be a name there. Do we dare say we're going to move? We heard RJ Barrett being sent back to Canada and OG Anunoby. Would you like to see RJ go back to Canada? Personally, if anywhere he's going to go, we're going to move him. I don't want to lose RJ, but if he's going to go, you know what? Make him happy. Send him to Canada. He'll be the face of Canada immediately. What's your thoughts on RJ Barrett going to the Toronto Raptors?
Well, I wouldn't want him to go there. I like RJ. He's a good player for the Knicks. He just gotta get his game together. But him going, he's like a Knick diehard. I think he don't want to leave the Knicks either. He's one of those guys that want to stay, probably retire at the Knicks if he could. I don't think he would like to leave the Knicks and go back to Canada and play over there.
Okay. You think because of pressure? You think he'll feel pressure going to Canada, the country? Because he does play well in the Olympic team, but he's alongside SGH, Lou Thorpe. He's got some good players with him playing on that national Canadian team. It'll be a whole. And I know those. Toronto has some good players too, but they look like they're kind of on their way to rebuilding. If it looks like it, kind of. But I don't know. Personally, I don't want to see RJ Barrett leave the New York Knicks neither. But if there's a place that they're going to move him, and I would hate to do it, I would suck to see it because we got to see him 4 times a year, coming in twice in Madison Square Garden against us. But man, I think for him, will be besides playing alongside his college roommate Zion, I think it will go good for him to go to Canada, to his native home country, and play for them. But I want him to stay as a Knick. I want him I want him to be when the Larry O'Brien Trophy finally is risen with the New York Knickerbockers. I want to see Obi. I want to see Obi, and I want to see RJ Barrett both on the team raising that trophy. Personally.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It'll be interesting to see. He's been rumored for the Paul George going to Los Angeles. He's been rumored for the OG Anunoby move. He's been rumored, for a couple of moves because teams saw what he did in the postseason. You know what? There's some players that are 82 gamers, and And there's other guys that take their 16 game players that takes their game to another level. And believe it or not, I think RJ Barrett, when that 16 game stretch that's the playoffs, I think he takes that other level. He has that intangible to. I'm not saying he's a Robert Horry, but he takes that game to that level. He gets focused, and that's what he was great. He was groomed and bred for. Is for that, for trying to get those 60 games in that tournament for the world, for any type of title, collegiate, AAU, now in the NBA. I think I'm thinking I keep top end. I'm saying RJ has been groomed for that, and I think he's the one for that. And I think I would hate to see him go. And when he gets to a team with a coach that has winning, where he could be, of course, he's a third fiddle, second fiddle, no matter what. But when it's time for the postseason, that guy's going to show up. Mr. Buddha Namaste, what's up, man?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's that guy. He's that guy when it comes to postseason. He has that accolades that fits that we're looking for.
Yeah, that's why we shouldn't trade. We shouldn't trade him. This is why we should keep him.
Yes. And that's all the rumors out there for that one there for a Toppin. Another one is there, the Joel Embiid. But the Joel Embiid rumor is taking legs for next year. Like if the Philadelphia 76ers don't make the postseason, they have a quick exit in the postseason. There's and I can't go for those type of rumors, Darnell. I can't wait another year or another. I'm living, and I hate to sound like that. We're living at the moment now. Either you want to, if you're in now, or you're not in. If you want to be a Knick now, not in. I never say, oh, Luka Doncic might want out. Luka Doncic might want out. You know what? You want now? Get in now. Don't wait until we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then you want, I want to come play for the Knicks. This one. And I hate to say that. I hate to be vulgar. That one. You're either going to come in here and help us lay the bricks of the foundation. Don't come in here to put the curtains up on the windows and say this is your home. No. Or put the bedspread. You're going to come here and lay the brick for us. Come in here. If you're, the NBA superstar, come in here now. Help us lay the bricks, the foundation. Put up the drywall. Put up the shingles. And come on in. Help us with the electric. But don't come in to put the bedspread and come in and want to take a nap and say that you built this. That's all. That's my thing.
Yeah, I think Luke will come and help Brinson by next year, a year or two. I think Luke will come and help him. He'll be a good backup forward for us. I believe so. But we don't need these guys just to come get a paycheck and just leave like the rest of these guys can. They got a big paycheck, and 2 years they got hurt and they out, and we don't see them no more. We got a lot of players coming and go like that, So if you want to be a New Yorker, you at least do 4 or 5 years and go through the mill like everybody else do. So
let me ask you this. I'm gonna put some names out. I'm gonna put names on our current team right now. Your probability. Give me a number that percentage-wise, from 0 to 100, if they're gonna still be on this team next. Or when I throw the name out. Mitchell Robinson.
9%.
9%?
Yeah.
Do you think he's being traded?
You mean percent of leaving or percent of staying?
So staying. Like 9. What do you mean? 90% that he'll be with the Knicks. I'm gonna give you an example. I think Walt Clyde Frazier will be 50% back with the Knicks as the broadcaster.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with Mitchell Robinson. By the way, congratulations, Mitchell Robinson, on having another child with his wife. So he is expecting. So Big Mitch doing some big things there. So let's go with Mitch. Do you think Mitch will be on this team next season?
Yeah, 80%. Yeah, he'll be there.
All right. Let's go with we saw the Miles McBride. Let's go with the bench here. Miles McBride.
80%.
All right, Miles McBride, 80%. Well, we don't know if Hart is going to opt in or not, so I'm not going to put Hart because Hart. Well, let's go with Hart. What's your thought on Hart?
I give Hart 90%.
All right, that's good. Jericho Sims.
We definitely need him. I give him 90%.
90%. That's a good one. Evan Fournier.
30%. I think he'll be gone by next year.
30%.
By this.
That's a good one. That's a nice one because you could have it where, you know what, we just couldn't move him. We couldn't find anyone to take that money. We wasn't going to give him away to give him away. You know what? We got to pay him anyway. We'll keep him around. You never know. That's why the 30% one sounds really good there, Darnell. That's a good one. Let's see. Manuel Quickly. That's a name that a lot of players looking for, extension-wise, attractive to other teams. If he's, if you want to get that big fish, Manuel Quickly.
95%.
You think, okay, not bad. I think Quickly. I'm going 55% Quickly returns, man. I love Quickly, but I think there's actually all the rumors and all. When there's smoke, there's fire. I'm a little I'm 55% seeing Quickly back, in my opinion. Let's go with. Of course, I'm gonna say it anyway, but we know this is gonna be the answer to this one. Jalen Brunson. I know that was a stupid one, but
we're gonna have a statue. We're gonna have a statue by next year.
Quentin Grimes.
85%.
All right. RJ Barrett.
85%.
Julius Randle.
I hate to say it, but 90%, man. He's gonna be back.
I'm with you on that one. I think, not for nothing, I'm not I'm not a big fan of Julius Randle. I'm not, with his antics, all that different stuff. But it's hard to say you can't dislike a guy who gives you 25 points, 10 rebounds, and close to 3.5 assists, who plays close to almost all, at least not more than 85% of the games. That's a tough one to try to replace. And I know by as much as we dislike him at times where he plays, but man.
And playing hurt.
Yeah, and playing injured. And he's there.
There's a whole. We didn't even know he's playing hurt. That's another thing.
And damn, that's a tough one to replace. And maybe Randall falls into the category. You never know what you got until you lose it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen to us when Randall. I personally, again, in a heartbeat, you call me right now and say Zion for Randall. I'm going Zion. Zion is the better upside. Has more upside scoring wise and play wise, but man, I think Randall's gonna fall into that. You don't know what you have until it's gone type of player, and it sucks. It sucks on that one because we're the first ones. I'm gonna be the first one to say get rid of him, but when he's gone and we can't replace that, we're like, damn, we wish we could get that back.
Like that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And as much as we give Julius, as much as a lightning rod he is, those numbers there, man. 2-time All-NBA. 2 out of the 4 years he's been with the Knicks, we're in the postseason. Like it or not, first round, second round, whatever it is. Compared to those years that we've been almost 20 years without being in the postseason. And half of this guy's career, we're in the postseason, and half of them he's been All-NBA. Second team, third team, All-Star, 2-time All-Star. That's a tough one there, Darnell Davis, to knock the guy where he's giving us these numbers, man. It's tough. That's a tough one. That one had me back and forth. That's a real tough one.
Sometimes we gotta live with the frustration. I mean, we can go with the attitude and all that. Besides that, his game is real good. 100%. His game is like when he out there, he's like illegal. Like nobody can stop him. So to get rid of a person like that is, because of his behavior, it's like we could tame their behavior. We can ask him to calm down, whatever, all that. But he's a good player. We can't just trade him. He's a good player to be in the league.
It is.
So
Now, let me ask you this. I know you did your homework and you looked at. Give me some of your thoughts on players. I'm gonna give you there and tell me players out there that you could see that you like. It's freestyle time. Go for it.
Who do I like?
Whatever. You prepared some stuff there. Give me what you prepared for, man. I'm ready to answer some first rapid fire questions if we want to throw it this way.
Well, I just prepared for the stuff. The players got like Boston got traded. KP went to Boston, and Marcus Smart went to Grizzly. Jordan Poole went to the Wizards. I just prepared Warriors. Chris Paul went to the Warriors. Just wrote down stuff like that. I really didn't. What are you prepared for?
Would you like to talk about? We could talk about that. We would like, what's your thoughts on that? Who benefits? Let's go with the first one with the trade there to the Grizzlies for the Boston Celtics. Actually, let's go with the Grizzlies. Let's go with the Celtics getting Kristaps Porzingis first and foremost. I think that's going to help.
I was really hurt about that, man.
Okay, were you part of that?
I really wanted KP to be on the team. I think he could have helped us. I think he was good for us shooting the three, and that's the three that we was missing, that outside three. But just like the chef was telling me, we don't think we should use him for that, and he's not a. But he was, that position that he played was just for the three, to shoot the three. He wasn't out there to get rebounds and stuff like that. So he was a good person to be for the outside shooting. So.
Let me interject. I know we weren't talking about, we don't know the cap, we don't know the numbers. This one I do know. He was $34 million. I think it was a little bit too much money for the Knicks to invest on a Kristaps Porzingis when you have a Mitchell Robinson making that money he's making and commanding, and then Hartenstein. Then one thing I know, Kristaps played 60-plus games this season, but he's not going to give us what Hartenstein on defensive end was going to give us. Although you could say Porzingis is going to stretch the floor, like you said. And here's the thing. I think Kristaps Porzingis, after this contract is over and he doesn't produce the numbers in Boston that he gets, I think we could sign him on a teamer-friendly deal if he does really want to come back to New York in the offseason next year. I think he's going to be a free agent next season, if I'm not mistaken, after this 1 year on this $34 million contract there. Unless if he has some big numbers, then he's going to get re-signed for big numbers. But if he has a pedestrian type of year with Boston because they don't get playing time, injury, whatever the case, then we could probably bring him in on a team-friendly deal that way could fit. But other than that, I'm kind of, as a player, it would have been interesting to see him come back, Darnell. Financially, it didn't fit the Knicks with Kristaps Porzingis. Boston, it's going to be interesting with Robert Williams, Porzingis coming out there, stretch the floor. That means Grant Williams will be lost for the Boston Celtics. He was a big part of their, and also Malcolm Brogdon, no longer part of the team. Now was he in Memphis? Am I correct? That's a big deal. They lost their sixth man.
Yeah, Marcus Smart is a good player for them.
Yeah.
They're gonna miss him. I think they're gonna miss him real good. He's one of those players that he can play two positions out there. The point guard, he can play small forward, get rebounds. He moves the ball a lot. He box out. So they're gonna miss all of that for him.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Darnell Davis. Now that we know that no Marcus Smart manding the point, Boston really doesn't have a point guard. They didn't address it in the trading. They didn't address it in the free agency. In the trade, in the NBA draft. Excuse me. Maybe they do it in the trade deadline coming up. They have Jaylen Brown, who is one more year to go. Do you see them taking Jaylen Brown, maybe in a team trade, and move him to Portland and bring in Dame Lillard? So you bring Dame Lillard along with Kristaps Porzingis, and Tatum, and have a minor big three. Boston likes to do that balanced big three. We saw it with KP, and actually Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. They had all the different all-stars in those type of positions. As we're bringing Gideon in a moment there. What's going on, Gideon?
What's going on, everyone? What's cracking? Slack? Nice to meet everyone.
Good job there. So let me get that, Darnell. Let me get you answer there, and we'll bring in Gideon in the conversation here on that there.
Repeat that again.
The proposal of taking Jaylen Brown and moving him to Portland, bringing Damian Lillard to play alongside Tatum with Kristaps Porzingis and that group in Boston. That you're giving Portland a younger player. You're bringing now Damian Lillard to the East Coast to play with some good players. A team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Your thoughts on that? What could you see that be moved?
You're going in now, boss. I can't hardly hear you. Going in now.
You want to come in and come back, Darnell? Want to come in and come back?
All right.
All right, Darnell having a little bit technical difficulties.
Salute, Kev. Nice to see you again,
Hey,
man.
what's going on, man? So, same question to you as Mr. Darnell Davis will fix. Unless if you can still hear me, Darnell. You don't have to leave. If you can hear me,
I'm good. You can hear me?
we can hear
Can
you
you hear
loud
me?
and clear.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can hear. Yeah, loud and
I
clear.
was saying the trade Dalian going back to the
Boston.
East.
Going to the Boston Celtics. Damian Lillard will get. I'm saying, would you make a move trading Jaylen Brown from the Celtics or to Boston for Damian Lillard? Of course, you put the money, whatever players that needs to be fit in there. Could you see that being moved?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Okay. Getting your thoughts?
I say 50-50. I say 50-50 because Dame does help Boston with shooting, can finish at the rim, can hit the mid-range. My only concern with Dame to Boston is that Dame and Tatum may not fit because they both cannot move without the ball, and they're both kind of inconsistent in the playoffs sometimes, though. That's my only concern with that, though.
Forget about the inconsistency in the postseason. I'm talking about Boston needs a point guard.
That's true. That's true.
Boston needs a point guard now that there's no Smart. Maybe that's what something that would trigger them to want to kick the tires and talk to Portland to want to bring in Damian Lillard for Boston because there is no point guard after Smart leaving. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just throwing that up there.
No, I understand. I would consider that move. I would consider if I were Boston. I probably would consider it because they do need another guard there to help out Derek White, though. And if I were them, if you do get Dame, I would put. If you do get Dame could help Derek White and Tatum with floor spacing, attacking the rim, and he's another guy that can take the pressure off Tatum, though. So I think that would be a good move. And if you're the Blazers, you win that too because you get another guy who's athletic and brown that can lock you up, can put guys in jail, that can fly, can get crazy on shot at the elbow, the top of the key, and has a feathery jumper, and you can get into the passing lane. So I think both teams will win the trade, yeah. And can help Sharp.
It's a winning trade because you put him there next to you put him there in Portland with you have Anthony Simon, Jaylen Brown. You know, I believe we got Nurkic, the center. Nurkic, and of course you have Grant out there. You know, and I know that's what Damian wants to move because he's still playing that role that he wants to stay with Portland Trailblazers. Now he also wants to recruit now Draymond Green, and now if hear me out there, Portland, if they have money to bring Draymond Green there with Grant, Nurkic, Simon, and Lillard, that's another nice team for Portland there in the West. There, that's something balanced there. You get yourself some guys that you can make a move in free agency at whatever mid levels of section, and that will help them as well.
That's probably a playoff team. Draymond with Dame, Grant, Simon, Sharp. Yo, hey, bro, that's a nasty team. I mean, that's a nasty team because Dre can lock you up. Dre's sharp, like a great defender, can bring the ball up the court. He can play point. He can play point forward. He can hit the three at the top of the key. He could play the small ball five. He could. I mean, he's very smart. He takes a smart shot. He's not a scorer. He's still a guy that can hit the big shot when he wants to. He's a great defender, good playmaker, and he's a guy that can mentor a guy like a Shaedon Sharp or an Anthony Simons or Scoot Henderson. So if Dre went to Portland, that would be nice. But I have a bold prediction with Draymond Green. Okay. I think he's going to Sacramento Kings. Call me crazy. I think he's going to the Sacramento Kings.
No, that wouldn't be crazy. He doesn't have to move. He doesn't have to relocate. He can still stay in his home. And all you gotta do is just play on the other team. It's like it's not, that's not a crazy pick there for Draymond Green there. Percentages for him staying in Golden State. I don't know if he's gonna stay. I don't know if they could afford to keep him in Golden State with the cap situation.
What would they do with their power forward though? What would they do with their power forward though?
Kuminga, and there's also Moody.
They're gonna have to play Kuminga Moody now in that position. They might not give that same value of his Draymond Green, but
Right. But I have one question for you guys. Do you think the Denver Nuggets are going to keep Bruce Brown? Because remember, you got to pay Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, KCP, Jamal Murray. Do you think they're going to keep Bruce Brown, the Denver Nuggets?
The rumor has the Knicks are interested if it doesn't go through with DiVincenzo. Bruce Brown has been a name that's been rumored towards to the Knickerbockers by all places. He played in New York with Brooklyn. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what's his value. What's his market value getting? And what's the market value that they have for him? What is he commanding on the market? Does he fit? Because I know we have now we have some money under the cap. We're not picking up the option on Derrick Rose but all signs wants to push towards it's DiVincenzo with New York, but if that's their backup plan is Brown. I wonder how that quickly that's going to take place.
Right. It doesn't seem much. Bruce Brown didn't say much. There's no report that says how much he wants, though. My guess is that he'll probably want like 12, 13 million. That's my guess, but it doesn't seem much how much Bruce Brown wants. If I were Denver, you got to find a way to keep Bruce Brown because Bruce Brown complements well with Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon, a KCP, because let's be honest, Jeff Green's probably going to retire. So would DeAndre Jordan. So would Reggie Jackson. So those guys are probably going to be gone. So if you're Denver, you got to keep Bruce Brown. He's the guy that can play, make, finish at the break, athletic, great defender. So if I were Denver, you got to find a way to re-sign this guy, though. So if I were the Denver Nuggets. But I think he probably would want like 12, 13 million, though. That's probably my guess what Bruce Brown would want.
Okay. And let me ask you this. Darnell. I'm giving you three players, three shooters here to get on this team. It will be DiVincenzo, Seth Curry, or Bruce Brown. You can only get one to fit what the Knicks are doing here. Your thought, who would you like?
I would like Steph Curry. I believe he spreads the floor out. He's a good 3-pointer shooter. And he's quick. We need somebody quick like that on the floor. So I like Steph. So
okay. Getting who? If I same, I'm. To me, I like Steph Curry, but his injuries worries me.
True.
His injuries worry me. He hasn't been healthy enough to play, especially when the Philadelphia 76ers needed him the most in that postseason. A couple years ago, not available. One of your best ability is availability. And I think he'll turn out to be a Novak who will get limited just to 3-point shooting. Sometimes in the postseason, you need a little diversity. You saw that with Bruce Brown and Donte DiVincenzo. I like that too because, of course, that pedigree that he comes from with Villanova, they're just good basketball players. They do the right plays. And personally, I will go with DiVincenzo over Bruce Brown currently right now. I know Bruce Brown is coming off a world championship. Will probably help the Knicks with the championship pedigree coming in there to New York to bring that there. But if you're asking me, I want that happy life, happy locker room with the Villanova Wildcats. That I think that's something as a pep in the step. You saw that with Brunson. You saw that with Hart. That pep in the step playing in the closeout in the middle of the season. I think with DiVincenzo, I think that's something that will boost them. And I think that's the only reason why I will go with DiVincenzo over Bruce Brown. But you know what? Bruce Brown is not no second fiddle or consolation prize, if you ask me.
Right. Ooh, I have one question for you guys. I know this probably will never, ever happen, but anything's happened. Teams could change their mind. Would you guys trade for? I have multiple players here: Paul George, Brandon Ingram, OG Anunoby, and let's say Denver changes their mind. Michael Porter, would you trade?
We spoke about a couple OG Anunoby. We spoke about that there. It's going to take RJ Barrett for an OG Anunoby on a signing trade. I think OG, that's a tough one. For we were talking about that with Mr. Darnell Davis about OG. He fits with the Knicks especially with Tom Thibodeau. That's telling us if that's the move they do. That's telling us Tom Thibodeau is going to be here for more than he's going to get extended. He's not leaving anytime soon. He's going to get extended for a long period of time, and I don't know how the fan base will take it. Darnell, you want to get in that conversation? Go ahead.
Yeah, I give you 4 players: Brandon Ingram, Paul George,
Yeah,
Michael
we'll
Porter.
go with Joe. We go to OG first. Oh, we go to
I like
OG first.
Ingram. I like Ingram. He's a good player. I don't know why Pelican want to will get rid of him, but Ingram is a good player. He's like a Zion Williams, but just don't have the muscles. But Ingram's a smart player. He's a poor player. He's a player that he play without the ball. He's offensive. He do what he got to do. So I like Ingram.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, okay. What about Michael Porter from Denver? Michael Porter.
Yeah, I like Michael Porter.
Right. I'm not saying Denver's going to trade him, but let's say randomly they decide to, because you never know what can happen. Would you guys trade for Michael Porter from Denver?
Yeah, I would trade for him. Yes, definitely.
What about you, Kev? Would you trade for Michael Porter from Denver?
I think that kind of player fits this bill because he's coming from a small market. We just won an NBA title. He's going to have an opportunity to play now for the bright lights. He's going to take his talents to be showcased more. I think it'll help him if he does come to New York, if he plays for New York. But of course, that's not more of a pipe dream. I don't know if he's available. You kick the tires, you ask the questions, you make the phone calls. But I don't think Denver will let him go. But you could make the phone call. Is that an intriguing player? Absolutely, Michael. He is an intriguing player. Ingram. It all depends what the Pelicans want to do because they have a mess. Players don't want to really be there. We saw there, a lot of players want to leave New Orleans. Case in point, Anthony Davis. They got rid of Chris Paul. Basketball doesn't really work in New Orleans. That's a football town. We saw that they tried it with the Utah Jazz. They were originally there in New Orleans. They didn't work out. No matter how much the NBA did them a solid, they colluded to get Zion Williamson there. That's not going well with them getting them there. The commissioner did whatever he can with Chris Paul. They bent backwards to make New Orleans work. And I don't know what they're going to do. The training staff, Van Gundy didn't work there. Allen Gentry didn't work there. They're a mess. We think the Knicks were a bad organization, but New Orleans, he'll hold my beer in this moment right now. What they're going to do, who they're going to move, who they're going to let go, it's a question beyond us. Will they get rid of Ingram? Be honest with you, I love Zion Williamson. I think, but be honest with you, the one that really fits on the Knicks, if you want to take someone from the New Orleans Pelicans, it's Ingram.
By far. Oh, yeah. I love Brandon Ingram. He shoot at face of jumper.
Yeah. What is he like? 6'10"? He's lanky. He's long. He could strike the floor. Yeah, they're long. They're lanky. They could shoot the ball. You don't need them to box in to go and work in the trenches. That's where you have Mitchell Robinson with Julius Randle, Hartenstein. You got guys. Hart likes to rebound, and I think if you want Ingram to be that wing defender with that length and that long stretch ability, that wingspan, that's the guy that you want. That really will fit the Knicks. To be honest with you, what they're looking for.
Right. Right. By the way, I'm agreeing with you. By the way, BI 6'8". I'm agreeing with BI 6'8". I agree. I would love BI. The players, if I had to do everyone in order, I would say BI, Michael Porter if he became available, Anunoby. What about Paul George? We guys trade for PG if he became available?
We talked about that in the opening segment. We don't want Paul George, to be honest. That contract is too rich. It's too rich for a 34-year-old.
And every year they get paid more and more.
He doesn't play 55 games.
Right. Yeah, he is getting old though. He is. If he was younger PG, then a little bit different, right? If it was younger PG.
Yeah. 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, pretty good, but 4 years, it's a lot.
Yeah, good point.
And for the players that's going to take to get him on the Knicks, that's why it's a hard no.
You have to cut an arm to get PG. You have to cut like an arm. You have to trade like what? RJ.
Yeah, exactly.
Quigley, Fournier, probably 3 first-round picks.
You're taking away the youth. You're removing the youth of the team and the nucleus of the team, the young core of the team, to bring in a 34-year-old. It's going to give you maybe 2 years maybe 2 years of high level basketball, then he's gonna fall off a cliff. It's not worth it unless again. I said it a lot. I said it before in a different video. If you're gonna tell me we're gonna make a move for these players and guaranteed, because nothing in life is guaranteed, but death and taxes. At the end of that contract, we're all hoisting up the trophy, and we're all the Canyon Heroes, and I get to meet all of you guys in the parade. Then it's worth it. Again, the Karl Anthony Towns, that poison pill of the $67 million that kicks in. If we're holding up an NBA trophy before that $67 million kicks in, it's worth it. But there's no guarantee on that, because all it's going to do is going to spiral us back down to oblivion, to start all over. Especially in the NBA, it's hell to try to rebuild. And the way the Knicks don't have the luck of getting the number 1 draft pick, of getting a transitional player like a Wembanyama, we don't get those type of players since 1985. So it's tough for us to want to make that move. That's why we have that PTSD, and we're skeptical of. I don't know if we should trade this player, because I don't know if he's going to fall off the cliff. If we're going to get the next Jason Kidd again, play good, and then he just dies. You know what I mean? And we're afraid of that, because we've been so much tormented and so much in terrible basketball hell, where and it seems like all the other franchises are getting better. They get that transitional player that helps their franchises. Meanwhile, we're stuck in neutral since 1985. It feels like the NBA colludes against us. Whenever we stink, the NBA wants to go give New Orleans Pelicans because we need to save the small market team. We got to give them this transitional player. We can't give them.
That's why they didn't trade Chris Paul to the Lakers. That's why CB3 was supposed to be a Laker, but he stayed a Pelican. Even look at the Denver Nuggets. They got multiple transgender players. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter might be a potential transgender player. I mean, wow. I mean, etc. Like, yeah. I mean,
well, you got to give the Nuggets their flowers. They picked up no second round. They did a hell of a job there. It took time, because I called them a fraud in the beginning of the year. In the middle of the season, when I did one of my broadcasts there, I don't think Denver Nuggets are going to be there. They're in number 1 seed, but they'll get beat. They're a bunch of frauds. I called them a fraud, and then I called them a champion. I'll get to giving them their flowers. And then secondly, they also were smart. They got Murray in the Melo deal. They made smart moves. They were smart. It took sometimes the trade and the moves takes time to marinate. That's why my case in point, it's okay if the Knicks run it a little bit back here with a little bit tweaks here and there. They don't have to be drastic. They don't have to make drastic changes.
And also drafted Michael Porter from a back injury. Don't forget, Michael Porter also had back injuries. Don't forget about that. What do you think about that?
They were questionable. There was questionable moves on that. When I remember draft night, because I remember the Knicks passed on Porter because of the back injury. They decided they passed on him because of health issues. You know what? Looking at it now, a good move for Denver, because they could afford to hit or miss on that move, because they, but for New York, if he would have came here and he didn't give immediately dividends, he would have been considered a bust. He would have been in a Frankie Ntilikina category, because he didn't give us dividends because of the back issues. So certain teams could take that chance with an injured player, where the Knicks couldn't. And you know what? That's a perfect storm for Denver. Some teams fall into some perfect storms, man.
It's true. I mean, and again, and trading for Aaron Gordon. They traded what? They traded Gary Harris to get an Aaron Gordon. They traded Monte Morris and a young player to get KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, another champion. They got Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, old but useful young players. Ish Smith. I mean, Denver built. I mean, drafting Christian Brown. I mean, to build and look where they are now. I mean, I want to ask you one question. I know we talk about New York, but I want to talk about Denver for a moment. Do you think the Nuggets are a potential dynasty? Because you look at the age, Michael Porter, 24, Nikola Jokic, 28, Aaron Gordon, 27, Jamal Murray, 26, Christian Brown, 22. Do you think it's a potential dynasty with the Denver Nuggets, in your opinion?
The youth is there, but we need to see it. You think so, Daniel?
What you say, man?
They're a good young team. They're gonna probably be there a couple of years, winning the championship. I think they play together. They play a lot of good teams in the West, so they're gonna be good.
Let me ask this: do you know what was the ratings of the NBA Finals I never usually we hear that. Mum's the word. I don't think the NBA wants the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals because I think it's
They didn't.
I think it's a boring watch. I don't know. They're good fundamentally, but here's NBA tends to collude, man. I hate to say that. They kind of want the big markets, although besides New York, besides the Knicks, but they want all the other markets, all the marquees, all the stories. They want the storylines and the marquees there, but other than New York, they like that. I don't know if they want to see Denver back in the NBA Finals, a dynasty. I don't think that's a market that's appeasing to the NBA. But hey, San Antonio went on a dynasty, and they were one of the worst markets, and they surprised. They were there, and they couldn't. It's hard to beat them.
The Twin Brothers.
That's a good point. So you lean towards no. You don't think it'll be a dynasty, right, Kev? Lean towards
I don't think so because you're going to see teams now want to gang up and beat the Denver Nuggets in the West or the throne. One thing about it, the Jokic deal, with the Joker, you're going to want to see guys, you know what? Now when they play them, teams are going to give them their best shots. And that's it's easy to get on top of the mountain, but it's difficult to stay on top of the mountain.
It's true. Ask that to the Bucks and the Warriors and teams like that, and Raptors and Lakers, like constantly. Yeah, ask them. Yeah,
I believe that team get another point guard. They're gonna be all right though.
They do need another playmaker off the bench. The Nuggets have a lot of playmakers like Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, but they got to re-sign Bruce Brown. If Denver could just get another playmaker to help out Jamal Murray, and
they're gonna be
good. But another guy that should break out for Denver, I think Michael Porter is gonna have a big year. What do you guys think? I think Michael Porter's a big year. I
don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if he will or wouldn't, but. With Phoenix now getting retooled with that big three, actually, with big four, because DeAndre Ayton, no matter what you say, he is a scoring center. All you need is to put some points up against Jokic, and you got all-stars in Booker, Beal, and Durant. That's a tough, that's why it's tough for you to say that Denver has a chance to get into a dynasty, because also you're still going to get the best shot there. I think Golden State's going to give you another shot there if Draymond decides to go there. If Portland puts up a super team, or that what we talked about earlier in the video, Sacramento building on something good there with a lot of picks and young athletes. So that West is not no picnic, and it's not a picnic. It's not an easy going there. Kyrie's trying to get going with a super team in Dallas. So there's a lot of bullseyes there. For the Denver Nuggets to come out of the West, that's not going to be easy side of the conference to come out of. That's why it's tough for Denver. One thing I give Denver, they have to have home court. If they were to go out there and they get home court, because that is tough to play in that altitude.
In Bowl Arena, it is tough to play in that building. Tell that to everything. The only team that won in Bowl Arena this playoffs was the Miami Heat, and they barely snuck out of game 2. Barely. Only won by 3 points, though.
And you got to win over 50 more games. 50 games you got to win.
Yeah, you have to. And Denver is going to have a tough road because even OKC is going to be better. You have Memphis will be Memphis. I know Job won't play the first 25, but they're not. There won't be no walk in the park. The Lakers, I don't think the Lakers will be great next year, but who knows? They might do something crazy. The Clippers, yes, they're injury prone, but like I said, I can't assume injury. We can't predict the future. Who knows? Maybe the Clippers might be healthy next year. Who knows? So it won't be easy for the Nuggets. And if the Nuggets get back to the finals, you got the Celtics, the Bucks. What was it the Heat get back?
I don't think the Bucks. Yeah. You're putting too much pressure, too much flowers to the Bucks. They're about to lose Brook Lopez. I think Lopez, Middleton opt out. That's gonna be a new look Bucks team with a new head coach there. That's gonna. I don't think so. They're probably gonna be playing for maybe a play-in 7-8, maybe possibly 6. They're not gonna be the darling of the East, bro. Not with that. Not with that there. I don't know about the Bucks, dude.
They need a point guard.
That team needs consistent shooting. Their shooting is
They
too
need a
streaky.
point guard.
I can see that. Don't sleep on the Heat though. If you're the Heat though, I don't think they'll win next year. But if Miami can just get a guard, they need shooting. The problem with the Heat, why they lost in the NBA Finals, they overachieved as an 8 seed, get into the NBA Finals, second 8 seed to get to the final dance. They couldn't make shots. They didn't have consistent shooting. If they can just get another few tools in the tool shed, get some few pieces in there, some topics in the piece, get some shooting in there, they'll be dangerous. What do you guys think? You think the Heat have a legit shot to win a title next year?
No.
Well, they have Butler just shooting all most of the time. It's like you got somebody, and the guy, the 3-point guy, he was shooting most of the time too. But you need a forward or a big man down there to really get the ball. I mean, they have kept feeding to the center, which he was doing pretty good. Then they were feeding them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped feeding the ball. Once they did that, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
He was taking the big man all day, but it's just like he got in foul trouble. Once he left, that was it. The ball game was over.
What's going to hurt Miami is that they 82 game season.
Yeah.
They don't have a young up and coming guy to run the point. Kyle Lowry, before the postseason run, they wanted him out of Miami. They had first round ticket. They had a first round ticket out of the city of Miami. They didn't want him there. We call him lazy, call him fat, call him old. They go on this nice run. They might not even get Matt Strus coming back. Remember, he's a free agent. Also, Gabe Vincent is a free agent. Now, Miami, one thing that you can never count out is Pat Riley to bring in pieces in to make the moves to get the right, get away from Tyler Hero, bring in someone there with big name marquee into Miami, along with Butler, Adebayo. Also, maybe finally, they get something off the bench from a healthy Victor Oladipo coming back. He is a world of talent, but he cannot stay healthy for Victor Oladipo. They might get some players returning back there. Miami, never count them out, but I think the 82-game grind might hurt them again because I don't think they could go on another magic carpet ride again back-to-back years in the East, unless if they come out of the gate on fire.
That is a good point, though. And what the Heat do, and that's a good point, though, gets 82 games a toll on your body. I agree, a toll on your body. And when you get back to the playoffs, and if you want to win a championship, you have 4 different opponents, 4 different schemes. Man, that's a lot to endure. What about this team? What about the Boston Celtics? Do you think with KP, you give them a legit chance to raise the B next year?
I'm not going to go team by team, Gideon, because we don't know what the rosters finally look. So I'm going to hold off on that because we could do this in September. And then, then we won't be able to, then we're going to do this again and talk the same thing in September. We're in June and we don't know who's signing, what trades were made, what the final rosters look like, financial constrictions. So I don't want to go through team by team now, hypothetically, who's going to be in the postseason and stuff, because we don't know what the rosters, we don't know injuries, we don't know what's going on. So I want to hold off on that there, Gideon, because we're premature here. Let's talk about these right now, the current free agency and trades ability, which we think we've almost wrapped everything up in a heartbeat. Let me ask you, Gideon, your chances of Joel Embiid being moved by Philadelphia now this season, not next, this summer.
Probably like 5%, probably like 5. I said like a 5%. Look, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I said like 5%, unless like maybe Harden bounces from Philly, unless Harden like packs his bags and leaves, maybe Embiid asks for a trade. But I think Embiid's gonna try to stay with Maxey, gonna try it out with Nick Nurse. So I don't see Embiid bouncing from Philly. I just don't see it. Probably like a 5% chance to leave.
Okay. Any chance? What are your chances, Darnell? What are your chances you think Harden goes back to Houston? And I'll ask that same question to you, Gideon.
I believe Harden. I say 6%. I believe Harden is gonna. He's been there for two years already. I think he's gonna leave. He's not a player. He's not a player that if he's not successful in what he's doing, he's gonna go to another team and see if he can try again. He's not. He's real selfish player when it comes to that. So
agree with that.
So you think Houston? I think he go back to Houston too. He's gonna leave Joel Embiid alone there. I don't know what Philadelphia's cap numbers are. If they could bring anyone in there, they still got Tobias Harris, who could be a movable contract to a team that's looking for a player like that. I personally don't want nothing to do with Tobias Harris in New York, even though he is from this area. I think he doesn't fit the game. I think a little bit too soft, in my opinion. He does have size, but I don't think he has the intangibles that will fit there. And personally, I don't know what's going to happen there. A name that and I can see that with Philadelphia. A name that I would like to get, but it's $17 million. He costs $17 million a season. He's got 2 more years on his contract. Or 2 players, though. 2 players. And it's for the same team, actually. I wouldn't mind getting Jonathan Isaac on a flyer to come to the New York Knicks. Revitalize his career, come out here. Or Franz Wagner. Because Mo Wagner, because Franz is the one that's plays for Orlando. They both play on Orlando, but Orlando got too many forwards there with Isaac. Either one whichever one Orlando is not key on keeping, Wagner to be the power forward, the backup power forward to Julius Randle. He doesn't need a lot of floor time minutes because he plays a limited amount with the Magic to begin with. You can move on from Obi Toppin if you want to move from Obi Toppin in the deal. You want to bring in Wagner in to be power forward number 2 to come in. He could stretch the floor, he could rebound, and he got size, and he could defend. He could block some shots. So either one of those, I wouldn't mind there. Jonathan Isaac will be more of a stretch, will be a 4 who could come in and shoot. But I don't know if the Knicks would want. I don't know if because of his injuries history. So Wagner will be a nice name to call the Magic about, kick the tires to see. And if Toppin is not going to be as a backup power forward, if Toppin is not going to be here going forward, if that's part of the motion to move around in pieces, and I think he'll fit New York. I think he'll love to embrace the city. He's a good guy here in the community in Orlando. I think that will be a nice pick for the Knicks as a backup. Again, a backup power forward where Randall's commanding close to 25 to 30 minutes. The final 12 minutes, the way you want to spread. Wagner's the type of player that wouldn't be bad at it, young also, and he wouldn't. Not going to kill you. He's not going to complain, and he knows his role, and that will be perfect for the Knicks if they could get it.
I agree. I love Wagner. I would like more Wagner and Isaac, because Jonathan Isaac can jump off the gym, can sky like an eagle, athletic, is a good defender, can hit the top of the key 3, and he can finish. And if you get Mo Wagner, he's a guy that can finish at the rim and can hit the top of the key 3. I remember that one game I remember the game against New York. I think it was in January, early in the year in Orlando. He was baking our butt. We won that game, but he was baking our butt early in January. We were going to the battling to the nail at Amherst. You were there. You were witnessing firsthand, though. So he was balling out of our mind. We won that game, but he was lining up the world, though. I would not mind Mo Wagner and Jonathan Isaac, though. Good young big man.
You can only have one. I'm not saying you're trading for both. I will go to the Magic and ask for either or. Which one? Jonathan Isaac is going to cost you $17 million. I think Wagner's on a lower rail, cheaper rate, about 10-9. If fit, and I don't know. You can't have both though, Gideon.
If I had to choose one, I'm going to say, man. Oh boy, give me Isaac. I say Jonathan Isaac slightly. Isaac, more athletic, better overall player. Isaac, yeah.
He's gonna want more playing time. That's the only thing that worries me about Jonathan Isaac. He's gonna want more playing time. I would rather have, if that's the case, OG Anunoby, because OG hasn't been hurt, and there's an upside with OG over Isaac. I think I'm leaning. I guess I just talked myself into Wagner. Darnell, your thoughts on those two, on that, with the Magic type, with training with the Knicks there? They really don't do it, but if you could.
I would take Wagner. I like Wagner. He's physical down there. He give us shots that maybe Toppin couldn't give us and stuff like that. But Wagner is a good player to have down there. So I would keep him. I would pick him up.
You know what? I changed my mind, Wagner. You know what? You guys convinced me, Wagner. I thought long and hard about this. You guys are right, Wagner. And also Wagner's more durable. Yeah, you're right, Wagner.
More physical player.
And more physical too. You know what? You guys are right, Wagner. Yeah. Over.
I'm trying to pull his numbers up right now as we conversate here.
And I know we don't want to go into next year. I understand we don't want to talk too much about next year. But speaking of the Magic, I know we don't know the future, but I'm saying it's a possibility. Orlando might be. I think Orlando's going to be a surprise team next year. The Magic will be a surprise team next year. I think so.
Oh yeah, they've been the Magics have been quiet under the radar team. Will have a good season next season. They're not tooting their horn too much here in Orlando about the team, but they're quietly have a nice nucleus. They have a nice nucleus. Markel Fultz, right now they need Jalen Suggs to rebound from last season. He had a terrible year last year for the Orlando Magic. Nothing up to a par there, but Cole Anthony's another one who's going to get better with the team. They've got some good players. Wendell Carter, Mo Wagner, and don't forget Pablo Banchero is just going to take another step better. That's his team. They're going to surround him with the team that they need there. And I think they're going to watch out. There might be a team that might be around that seventh playoff, playing where team's going to have to go to Orlando to try to possibly play the 7-8 game here in Orlando. Won't be surprised. Don't be surprised on that one.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Jedi.
Yes, sir.
I like the question. With the two draft classes, we got Toppin Brothers and Jalen. Jalen, who's 6'6", 19 years old. I mean, are they ever going to play this guy?
Toppin? Jacob Toppin?
Yeah.
Jacob Toppin is 6'8".
6'8"? Well, what about Jalen? Jalen is 6'6"?
You know what? Let me look. Let me pull that up.
I think it's Martin, Martin, and
they're going to be on two. They'll be on two-way. They'll be going to Westchester Knicks. They'll keep a lot of eye on them, which the Knicks are doing. It's smart. They're building a farm system, which they like in baseball and NBA culture. So they could pull guys from Westchester Knicks that will fit the Knicks type of scheme of basketball. You could see they got them from Kentucky. They got a couple players. They signed that young kid from Fordham, part of the G. It's going to be part of the summer league. And they're bringing players, and they're taking a look. They're kicking the tires. They're looking around. You gotta respect what they're doing. Personally,
yeah.
Right. I'm looking at is it Franz Wagner's 21, 6'10". Hold on, I'm getting that. I'm still on the Wagner situation. Hold on. Where is Mo? It is Mo Wagner. And here's Mo. Maurice or Mo Wagner?
Mo
is 26 years old. So he's 26 years old. And that's a good age. It fits the timeline with the Knicks. He's 6'11". So you're bringing in size at 6'11" to be the backup power forward. In there, and you could put him at center at times if in a pinch. So you could play that stretch 5 because he can shoot the 3. It fits the bill there. You don't have to get rid of Hartenstein. You can let Hartenstein hammer and do his thing. You get Matt Wagner who could play the power forward. And you could want to. It works. It works there. I just got to see how much money he's making right now, which I'm trying to get their basketball reference there. Let's see. There it is. His salary. He is old man. He's making nothing. He's making peanuts. He's making nothing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, $1.8 million. And he's a free agent. By the way, he's a free agent.
Coming in now, boss.
He's a free agent. Did you hear me? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Nice. I think he's gone. I think Mo Wagner is probably gonna be gone this offseason. I think he's gone.
Wow, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a Hartenstein number from a team. From a team that needs that there. A big, a playing time in the Wizards.
Wizards can use him. Wizards can use him. Hornets too. I even think the Nuggets can use him back up because the Nuggets give us a lot of pieces. I think the Nuggets can use him on Wagner.
They've done that before when they had JaVale McGee. You know, remember they had JaVale McGee years prior backing up, and then they ended getting Jordan. You know, and now you know they could get a Wagner going out there behind and that European connection along with the Joker to be his backup power forward center for some minutes. Yeah, you never know because Wagner's not going to command a lot of minutes. And he's not asking for a lot of minutes, but he's going to play. You know, interesting on that one. All right. Any other things here before we wrap up? Any other names or anything there? Darnell, anything?
Yeah, is it true that Durant want to trade now?
KD no.
No.
Out of Phoenix?
No. Let's hear that. No way. I heard what about Fred VanVleet? Where do you think Fred VanVleet is gonna go?
That was false rumors then somebody had, right?
No, don't listen to that, man. Don't listen to that. It is gobbledygook. What about Fred VanVleet? Where do you think he's gonna go?
Interesting on that one. I don't know if Miami has room for him. That's a place.
Boston. Probably end up in Boston.
Boston. They need a point guard.
Nice. Boston be nice. Boston be nice. And I have a bold prediction for James Harden. Hear me out for this though. Remember you asked me a question before about if he's going to Houston. What percentage is going to Houston? There is a shot he's going to Houston though. I probably say like 35% chance, but I don't think he's going there. Drum roll, please. I think it's going to San Antonio. Call me crazy. I think it's going to the Spurs, though. I think it's going to play on the Popovich. James Harden. Call me crazy. I think James Harden is going to play in the Alamo under Pop. I think he's going to the Spurs because I think he wants to get a fresh new start, though. I don't think he's going to stay in Philly. I agree with you there. I don't think he's going to Houston, though, because I don't think it's going to work well with Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. I think it's going to San Antonio. I think it'll work nice with a Keldon Johnson, a Jeremy Sochan, a Trey Jones, a Wemby. I think he can mentor those. I think he can, and to me, will mentor those guys. A Devin Vassell. I think he's going to the Spurs.
But they have the ball a lot. Yeah. Then they're gonna complain about that. He's coming with the ball a lot, and
he could play me. I know he could play me. I know.
They give you good offense and everything, but with the Spurs, he's more passing the ball around. He got plays that he want to see them plays come out, and I mean, it's a good pick for it. But I'm just saying it's gonna be hard for him over there.
It is a possibility, but I just don't see. I thought Rockets that moment, but I don't think that's going to happen though. How are him and Kevin Porter fit? How are him and Jalen Green fit though? They all want the ball in their hands. They're young over there too. Good point. I don't think he's going to Houston, though. I don't think so. Why you guys think he's going to Houston, though? Why you say that?
Because they have great strip clubs.
That, too, yeah.
That's it. San Antonio don't have it. And unless if Garden was married now, and he's about starting a family with and not getting a porn star pregnant, but he's actually getting married, settling down, then I'll say San Antonio. I don't think he's going to San Antonio. Certain players don't want structure. Certain players want to do their own rub shot, do whatever they want, And it didn't work with Doc Rivers. Popovich is more of a stringent type of player, although he played for them in the Olympics. I don't think the San Antonio Spurs wants that detention or that bad habits to a player that's coming into the league and Victor Wembanyama. They want to establish a winning culture with that young man, mold them into the San Antonio Spurs kind of way of winning basketball. And I don't think where they'll bring in a James Harden to disrupt that apple cart there. I don't see that there. Maybe a Draymond Green to San Antonio to help with Victor Wembanyama because Draymond Green is, at the end of the day, like him or not, he's a winning player. He does whatever the hell it takes to win. He become a third fiddle. If Golden State fourth fiddle when Kevin Durant went there, it's all about winning. He's an unselfish player who doesn't put up the sexy scoring numbers. He's the one that will dive, get the burns on his knees on the court, and he plays his ass off. And that's a Popovich type of player. And I think that's where if they're gonna pick, I don't think he'll go for that with a James Harden.
I could probably see that. You made some great points there. I just think maybe I think he'll go to Spurs instead. I just think that the Spurs also need a star. I think Wemby will be good, but I just think Wemby, we don't know how good he's looking in the league. And KJ, I love Keldon Johnson, but KJ's not a star yet. I just think the Spurs need a go-to guy that can say take us home. And I think James Harden, I understand the beard is not the old Dusty's beard, take me home type of guy like it was back in the old day. At the same time, he did show flashes of that this year, and I think he will be nice for that team as far as getting to the playoffs. So I think he'll go to the Spurs. Ooh, what about this? We haven't talked all night long. Uncle Drew, Kyrie Irving. Where do you think he's gonna go?
No, he'll stay in Dallas. He's not gonna leave. Not after all that move that they did. He'll stay one more year. He'll stay and re-up in Dallas. I don't think he goes anywhere. He'll stay. He'll be there. Yeah, yeah. He won't go nowhere. Christian Wood is being rumored to be in Miami. Miami's interested in Christian Wood.
That would be a good move for the Heat, though. They do need a big, yeah, because Bam's not a real center. He's a power forward. The Heat need a center. Christian would be nice for that team.
Also,
I agree. Yeah.
Also, there's talks of Colin. Remember, the big report came out of Cleveland. We talked about it earlier, and we're gonna wrap up in another 10 minutes. That Donovan Mitchell, enough already. He wants to come to New York. His underwear says New York Knicks colors. Everything else has to do with him. But the report says they want to move Colin Sexton and move Donovan Mitchell to the point guard. Miami's been rumored heavily to go after Colin Sexton. Which, interesting there for Sexton there. No, actually, that's Utah, not Utah. Garland wants to be. I get too confused. Excuse me about that. Garland to the point guard position. Move him out to move to the point guard position. There, Miami's been looking for Colin Sexton. That's the one from Utah with Kenny Olynyk. Remember we were talking about Wood, but maybe Kenny Olynyk to play that center. Go back to the Miami Heat where Oladipo, Lowry, and a bunch of picks going to Utah. I don't know. You get an expiring contract in Kyle Lowry going back to Utah, where they want you. Let's face it, they want a tank. They bring in Kyle Lowry at his age there. They can help him tank there for more picks, more assets. You get rid of Colin Sexton, $17.3 million. You're shedding a lot of salary, $12.1 for Kenny Olynyk. That's a crazy one there that might make sense. Like you can see Miami trying to kick the tires and pull a trigger like that.
Colin Sexton will be nice. I think that's a good move for the Heat, though. You get a guard that's athletic, has a mid-range game. He's an okay, decent defender. Yeah, he's a good player, though. Colin Sexton will be nice for them. And speaking of the Jazz, what do you think of them getting John Collins, though? Trading Rudy Gay.
Good move because John Collins, you could see he could play. He's 6'9", 6'10". He could probably slide into that power forward center position where Laurie Marketing. Now you got some size in Utah. The front court is not a bad looking front court. You got Jordan Clarkson is still there, right?
Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler, yeah.
Yeah, they got some nice pieces there. If they, and if they want to do something like that, bring some experience like you said, like we just talked about a few seconds ago. I think will help Utah. I think Utah, with Danny Ainge, they got, they could be a middle of the pack team in obscurity there where, they could play well in it like they did this year, and then they go full out tank in the trade deadline, trade players and get some more assets and start tanking again. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, probably. I could probably see that too. And yeah, with Hardy as the head coach, though, I could probably see that though. They'll probably be athletic with Collins. Collins is athletic, can shoot the corner three, the wing three. I think it'll be a pretty decent team, though. I don't think they'll make the. Yeah. I
thought Collins, Atlanta, should have called New Orleans and seen if Zion would have went for Collins. The money would have been almost the same. Goes there because they would have got almost the same, not the same type of player, the same stature, same position type of player, and whatever else needed to be moved. And I think Zion going back to the southeast where he's from probably would have helped him go back a little home, close to his parents and all that stuff. I was saying that I was scared of that to see Trey Murray. It would have been Murray, Young, and Zion, that big three there with Capella still at the center position.
Boy,
that would have been a dangerous play with Nick what the hell is head coach? The guy from Utah,
Quinn Snyder.
That would have been a dangerous one. You could talk about top 5 team in the East if you would have, had went healthy. We also don't forget you also had the other Hunter, the defensive player, the one that went in the draft. So
DeAndre,
yeah, there would have been a nice little rebuild for Atlanta back into this, where they could have been retooled quickly with just moving Collins and maybe whatever else the salary. And that would have been a real one there. So I'm surprised they never thought about it or kicked the tires on that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Run to the guy from Portland.
Are you talking
What happened to the guy from Portland?
Are you talking about Jeremy Grant and Cam Reddish?
I'm talking about Leonard.
Who?
Karan Leonard.
Lillard?
Karan. Yeah.
Who you talking about?
Karan Leonard. Where did he go to? Leonard, the power forward.
Are you talking about Kawhi Leonard's on the Clippers?
Yeah, the Clippers.
He's still with the Clippers. He's still got another couple years on his contract. There. I don't see him move. I don't see him trade.
And then I just swap him now.
No.
I have another
want him no more. He's not the hot commodity no more, Gideon. Darnell, I don't think he's any hot anymore. He doesn't play a lot of games. He's the reason why we have load management. You're gonna get half of the games in the season, and even if he sits down for half of the games, he might not even play the postseason. He's not guaranteed to play the playoffs. So he commands a lot of money. Yeah. And I think his better days are behind him. I think he's a really declining player. Where if he's gonna have to play for like 6-10 million on a team, then he's valuable. But for the current money he plays right now, I wouldn't touch Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't bring you the big value back.
Yeah, he's not the Raptor Kawhi Leonard anymore. He's not even the old Spurs Kawhi Leonard anymore. When he was pounding, he was monster mashing on your head, feathery jump shot, posting guys in the block. He's still a great defender, but like you said, not the same Kawhi-nator, the Terminator, the Kawhi-nators, I should say, like it was back in the old.
I forgot about him.
I have a bold prediction, and this may shock people. This relates to the Knicks. Call me crazy. I have a weird-ass feeling that Paul George, and I may be wrong, I have a weird feeling we're going to get Paul George. I think RJ Barrett either topping or Quigley is going to be gone, and Fournier is going to be gone for Paul George. I think Paul George is going to be a Knick this all season, either this all season or at least by deadline. I don't think RJ is going to finish a Knick at the deadline. I don't see it, though. I think PJ's going to be a Knick after this, though. I don't think we're getting Anunoby. I don't think Ingram's coming here. I think Clippers going to try to blow this. I think Clippers going to understand that, hey, PJ Kawhi, the marriage has to break up. I think we're getting Paul George. I'm going to say RJ is going to get traded. Either Toppin or Quigley is going to get traded. I don't know which one, but I think one of them is gone. We all can agree Fournier is going to be the first train out of here. And some piss. I think we're getting Paul George.
All right. I hope not.
I know you guys don't, but I know you guys don't. But I have me and Rose to go after that, though.
How many years, though? How many years we talking? 2 years? 1 year? 2 years?
I think this season we're getting PG. I think this year we're getting PG. I don't. Who else are we gonna get though? Zach LaVine ain't happening. We're not getting Zach LaVine. He doesn't want to come.
No. He doesn't want to come. His representative said no to coming in here.
Yeah, so
well, I'm still calling Zion, so I don't. He didn't give me no answer yet. So
I would love Zion, but I don't think it's gonna happen either. I would love Zion, but I don't know, man. It's possible. Maybe maybe David Griffin changes his mind. I just don't see it happening. I just don't.
They probably want Randolph for Zach. They would probably want that.
I would think about it. I would consider. I'll think about it. I would consider. Would you guys trade Zion still?
So, I would trade Randolph for Ingram. I would do that trade.
Oh yeah. Who you trade Randolph for Ingram, not RJ for Ingram?
Yeah, for Ingram, Randolph, straight up.
Right. What do you think, Kev? Will you trade Randall for Ingram or RJ for Ingram?
You want to? I'm having a. You know what? RJ is going to give you more value. You probably move RJ quicker than Randall right now because teams, regardless, even like we mentioned, we gave him his accolades. Two-time NBA All-Star, 25-10 guy is Julius Randle, but a lot of other teams don't value and don't see him as a cornerstone player, winning cornerstone player. He hasn't broken over that stigma. Teams, he's not desirable when it comes, and he's only 26 years old. But teams are not breaking the Knicks' phone calling for him. RJ has a better upside to get you a player like the Ingram, where you could now make Zion happy and bring his college partner in New Orleans, which I don't know if Zion, but at the end of the day, Ingram fits more because you could still keep Quentin Grimes, who could pretty much give you almost what RJ gives you. The only difference is RJ is a strong finisher to the basket. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what their plans are down the road. Are they going to they're going to get Ingram and Randall, who has a team friendly. At the end of the day, his contract is friendly. Randall's contract is friendly for a 2-time All-Star.
Right.
You want to bring in if they're all down the road, you're going to be Ingram, Randall, Brunson, and then Mitchell eventually going to come on this team. We're talking now. Donovan Mitchell. We're talking.
Right. What about your center? Right. What about your center?
You got Big Mitch. Big Mitch isn't going anywhere.
Right.
Although a lot of people would like to see an upgrade on the offensive side of Mitchell Robinson or the offensive center. Be careful what you wish for, because I do not want DeAndre Ayton. I don't want no part of DeAndre Ayton. I might want Turner and maybe. But I really like what Mitchell Robinson gives us with Hartenstein, two-headed monster. And also we have a Jericho Sims waiting in the wing, getting to groom and develop. So it's a really, it's a tough one there. It's a tough one there with that, because we tend to overvalue and get attached to our own players regardless. And we see them we have too much of a we think our players are more valued than gold. And we really want to fight with them. And sometimes the league looks at them and say, we don't want this. And it's tough.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, any other let's get our final thoughts before we say goodnight here. First of all, I want to thank you guys for joining me on here to talk a little bit basketball there. I know Chef Dan is working, and Chef Dan is not big on the 2K hyperboles or the rumors of trades and stuff. Which understandably so, it's all hearsay, but we're having a little fun on a Wednesday night before. And thank you guys for it. Darnell, give me your thoughts here. What do you want finally? Before free agency is coming here, we'll probably make some emergency videos. If the Knicks make a move, we'll come on and do some videos when we have concrete evidence. But your final thoughts of the night.
Well, I'm glad we didn't trade. We didn't do nothing in the draft. One thing, we didn't pick nobody up. We got two 26 pick. That was pretty good. The brothers, Obi brother. Then we got the other guy. As far as the Knicks, we're gonna be all right. We just gotta gel together. And as far as Randolph and I'm glad they got the surgery and he's all right. RJ should be pretty good. If everybody's healthy, I think we'll have a good season for next year. And definitely need Josh and Bronson to come back. Definitely. So I'm looking forward for the Knicks, and I'm glad we had this conversation with y'all, and I'm glad to be part of the Knicks family.
Go. JEDI, your final thoughts?
Thanks. One, thank you, Kev. Nice to meet you again, Donnell. Nice to see you again, Kev. Thank you for everything. Once, please smash the likes for my man, Kev. Please crush the likes for BX Sports JEDI Network. Always gives you the meat and potatoes of each story. The Knicks, hey, always, it's always nice to be with you guys. Always talking hoops, talking about life. You guys are awesome, amazing. You guys are amazing. I mean, congrats to Michael Porter, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and the rest of the Denver Nuggets. You guys show what team basketball is all about. Grit, heart, mental toughness. So congrats to everyone, Mike Malone and the crew. And for the Knickerbockers, hey, it was a fantastic season. It sucks that our season is a little bit early, but hey, It's gonna be sunshine and rainbow sooner or later, man. Keep your heads up high. We have a bright future. This free agency is gonna be great. The playoffs were amazing. Keep your attendance up high. Please subscribe to BX Sports Jedi. Never always tells you the truth and nothing but the truth. And stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. Protect yourself from Rona. And also, may the Lord bless you, keep you safe. And with that, everyone, deuces. Go New York, go New York, go!
Go. So Friday, free agent frenzy. If anything happens, we'll probably come Saturday night after the Money in the Bank watch along. The Yankees. I won't do the Yankee game if there's any moves, because everything happens like this when it comes to the NBA free agency. So we might do something Saturday night, Saturday evening. If there's any news, Nick wise, we'll come out with an emergency video, emergency stream that the Knicks made a move. Friday everything's gonna go. Friday I'm gonna be swamped. I'm gonna do a Yankee game. I'm gonna be on the watch along. Then Money in the Bank at 3:00 in the afternoon. Then anything 9:00. 8, 9 o'clock, whenever the Money in the Bank. After dinner, we'll come and do some Knicks that work. So stay tuned there. Thank you, Keith Turner. We appreciate you. Buddha Namaste. Everyone watching us on the Rumble app, don't forget, follow me. Hit that thumbs up. We'll follow you right back. We're growing a big audience on the Rumble app. We appreciate you guys there. Let's stay hooping. May the Knicks be with you. May the sports be with you. I am BX Sports Jedi Kev with my guys there. Again, salute to Chef Dan. The 11th is his born day, so we want to make sure we see him there on the 11th, and we're going to wish him a happy born day to my man, Chef Dan. All the love to my man, Chef Dan, working his ass off in the kitchens of New York and making some delicious meals. So, Chef Dan, we love you. We miss you. We'll see you, and we're gonna acknowledge you on that 11th, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Chef number 1.